Roman vampires, the bloody secret of the gladiator arenas. Imagine the roar of 50,000 voices. The scorching midday sun blazes down on the Colosseum. The air is heavy with the smell of sweat, dust, and iron. Two gladiators face each other, their armor battered, their eyes burning with desperation. The crowd chants for blood. Swords clash, shields splinter, and finally, one man falls. The victor raises his blade to the sky, and the arena erupts in ecstasy. But for some, the show isn't over. For them, death is not the end, it's the beginning. Because in ancient Rome, the blood of a fallen warrior wasn't just the proof of his courage, it was a prize, a cure, even a form of magic. 1. Blood-soaked amphitheaters. Death was not the end, but the beginning. In the grand arenas of ancient Rome, the games were more than just sport. They were a theatre of life and death. As the crowd roared and steel clashed, the fate of gladiators was sealed in sand-stained crimson. But for some Romans, the death of a gladiator was not simply the finale of a fight. It was the start of something far more macabre. The moment the victor dealt the killing blow, another kind of frenzy began. Spectators with specific intentions would push toward the arena floor, not to mourn, but to collect the fresh, hot blood of the fallen. For them, this was not a gruesome trophy. It was power, liquid vitality, believed to hold healing energy and the strength of the warrior's final breath. 2. Some drank fresh, others soaked it in cloth. The Romans did not limit themselves to one method. Some drank the blood straight from the source, warm and steaming in the cool morning air of the arena. They believed that every heartbeat of freshness mattered, that life's force faded quickly once outside the body. Others preferred a different approach. They soaked linen or wool in the gladiator's blood, allowing it to dry and be carried away as a portable charm. Later, the cloth could be steeped in wine or water, reactivating its power for later consumption or ritual use. To us, it sounds like something from the darkest pages of a vampire legend. Yet for Rome, it was part of medicine, magic, and the spectacle itself. 3. Healing power, the horse's blood cure. Not only human blood was valued. In certain cases, Roman healers turned to the blood of animals, especially strong and admired ones like horses. It was believed that the blood of a powerful stallion could pass on vigor, endurance, and even courage to the drinker. Some rituals required the blood to be taken while the horse was still alive, a detail that makes modern stomachs turn. The drinker, it was said, could inherit a fragment of the animal's spirit, becoming more fearless and resilient. In an empire where physical strength and bravery were prized above all, such remedies became sought-after secrets, whispered among soldiers and the desperate alike. 4. Doctors' notes, the blood of criminals as medicine. Roman medical scrolls reveal something both fascinating and horrifying. Some physicians of the empire believed that the blood of executed criminals held special healing properties. The logic? Criminals were thought to be full of life just before death, their bodies charged with a final surge of vitality as they faced execution. Physicians would attend executions in public squares or at the amphitheatre, bringing cups or bowls to collect the still warm blood. Sometimes they prescribed it fresh, to be drunk immediately, while in other cases they mixed it with wine or herbs. It was said to cure melancholia, what we might call depression, as well as tremors, seizures, and even chronic fatigue. Whether it actually worked or not, no one can say. But for the Romans, it was simply another tool in the fight against illness. 5. Epileptics at the amphitheatre. One of the most shocking sights in ancient Rome was the rush of epileptics into the arena after a gladiator fell. Ancient writers recorded that, as soon as the victor left the field, sufferers of epilepsy would run forward, kneel beside the fallen man, and drink from the wound before the blood cooled. This was not seen as barbaric by their peers. It was medicine. The belief was so widespread that doctors themselves sometimes encouraged it, claiming that the sudden life force of a dying man could calm the falling sickness. The scene must have been chaos. The sand still wet with blood, the smell of iron in the air, and desperate people fighting for a mouthful of life from a stranger's body. 6. The ritual, thirst for life joined with thirst for death beyond medicine, there was a ritualistic dimension to these acts. To the Romans, drinking blood at the moment of death was a way of touching the boundary between worlds. It was a moment when the departing soul's strength could be captured. Some cults within the empire even incorporated this belief into secret ceremonies. They saw the act as a symbolic rebirth. By taking in the essence of the dead, the drinker was said to be renewed, reborn, made stronger. For them, the line between healing and magic blurred. The thirst for life became inseparable from the acceptance of death, and death itself became a resource, something to be used, not feared. In these moments, Rome's bloody games became more than entertainment. They became a gateway to what many believed was the purest form of power,